Hi, I'm Ashura, and today we're gonna crack into the Siren Isle storyline on the PTR. If you're by chance new here, I'm going to be mainly focusing on all of the quests and the story, and talking about all of the lore we learn while skipping whatever comes in between those parts. So if you're looking for a video on how to do these quests for when the time comes, this is not really that. Mostly just going to be reading all of the quests out loud, and maybe even speculating a little bit about the lore to come. This is actually my first time doing this. I normally like to stream new content in advance, but due to time constraints, I didn't have the chance. So this will be like full reaction content, first time going through this. I genuinely don't know what to expect. So at this point, all I really know about Siren Isle is what was told to us in the video preview, that this isle is home to both Naga and Vrykul from Stormheim, and that there was a contingent of Kultirans on Siren Isle that mined azurite there, but have since mysteriously disappeared. And there's also a crystal similar to, if not the same as, Belladar, somewhere on this island. Offhandedly, I don't know if we know exactly where Siren Isle is yet, but the presence of both the Kultirans and the Vrykul sort of makes me think that it's probably somewhere close to the Broken Isles, but remains to be seen. So let's crack into it, because I genuinely cannot wait.
Only you know your path.
Greetings. Are you here to answer the Siren Isle's call to adventure? Recently, a goblin salvage team discovered an isle with a strange singing crystal at its center. Like the goblins, the Arathi of Halifal have taken a keen interest in this crystal, as have we. We've been preparing an expedition to the isle. Most of the expedition has gone ahead, but the goblins' last vessel is set to leave momentarily. If you hurry, you can catch them before they leave and join us.
May Azeroth guide your...
Imagine, a giant crystal that sings. We're investigating on Siren Isle. Care to join us? I think when this was announced, I assumed this was the same exact crystal as Belladar, just the top part of it. But we know that there's multiple crystals, and I am not sure if the implication is this one is supposed to be different or not. Remains to be seen.
Hey, welcome aboard! The Earthen and the Arathi are on the island already. We gotta catch up.
I'm on it. Quitting time.
Hiya, pal. Ready to embark on a thrilling adventure? Where are we going? Wouldn't you and half of Kaz Algar want to know? First the Arathi and Earthen are all asking about it. The next thing you know, they're heading off in their airship and mole machines. Oh, if I still had my rocket drill contacts, I betcha I could have gotten us there faster. But fine. You want to know? We're heading to the Siren Isle. Ever heard of it? No? Of course you haven't. No one has. Well, unless you're Borealis, of course. From Borealis. According to them Kultirans, this Siren Isle is a place of legends and myths. Lots of stories and old sea tales, all of them real spooky-like. Seems to be quite the place for ghost stories, and apparently some nasty storms, too. I wonder if you get different dialogue for this if you're on a Kultiran character? That would be interesting.
Back to work. No slacking.
Ah, so you're the one Dawn convinced to join us, huh? Well, hurry up. They've been adamant about getting us a proper Storm Rider, Ranger, whatever, escort out of the city, but it's taking too long. Arathi and other Earthen are already on the isle, and Rikita's probably wondering where the heck we are. Come on, I can give you the deets on the way.
Break time's over. The boss is watching.
The Siren Isle is a mystery, a potentially profitable one. My crew thought they hit it big when they found a deserted island with some strange singing crystal. Turns out was interested in unclaimed strange singing crystals. Both the Arathi and Earthen scrambled quick and were off before we could even charter a zeppelin. Fortunately for us, Rickett and crew have gone ahead to set up. We're the last to depart, and I'm itching to go. What are we waiting on?
No slacking. Come. Yeah, my crew's always ready to work.
We made it. Safe and sound. Vrykul says the whole camp's talking about this massive crystal they found. Seems everyone's got different ideas on how to examine this thing. Want to get involved?
Break time's over.
Looks like everyone's working together to study this big crystal. Vrykul offered to dig it up, but the Arathi expedition lady didn't seem too keen on that. Yeesh. Instead, the Earthen proposed scanning the crystal to help us understand it better. Whatever that means. I'm all for cooperation as long as we get it cut. So, go talk to Bargus at the Eastern Camp, Earthen Camp. See how they're coming along.
Back to work. The competition's hard at work. You should say hello to the neighbors, real friendly like.
Caught me at a good time.
Well, if it isn't my favorite adventure. How you doing, hun? How do you feel about the Siren Isle? The Isle? Honestly, it's pretty spooky if you ask me. When my crew and I found it, the whole island felt so still. Like it was waiting for something. I mean, sure, there was a storm coming in, but the level of calm just felt unnatural. Don't know how else to explain it. Vrykul shivers and rubs their arm. But hey, it's better now that you're here.
Yeah, I was done anyway.
My programming is expanded to exploration. And
Bargus looks up from his anvil. Another new arrival, here to lend a hand to our efforts.
May your work serve others.
In order to understand the singing crystal at the heart of the island, we will need some special machinery. We have forged a device to scan its exposed facets, but the crystal's energies are far too complex to read. It is a highly unusual energy signature. The goblins and Arathi seem keen to contribute, so let us proceed with their help. Take my toolbox and retrieve the prototype and the components the Arathi and goblins have prepared.
Forge, we Earthen are here to study the crystal. The goblins and the Arathi, we are still processing how to collaborate.
Interpreting a massive crystal's energy is a specialized process. Maybe the Arathi learned something from Beladar.
An earthen-crafted device used to detect energy signatures within mineral structures.
May Beladar stay in the light.
We've heard the big crystal's song, but many smaller crystals have been warmed by its energy. They resonate with their own radiant songs. Ooh, that's choice wording, considering the radiant song. Think of all the wondrous creations we could craft with them. Do you know how to help the Earthen's device interpret the crystal's energies?
We're all down.
My sacred crystals could help harmonize your readings, but you'll need more power.
What do you need? Batteries? These puppies should keep the scanner juiced up. You're good to go.
Are you here to help the awakened?
I have retrieved the prototype and the components.
Fortify your armor. Fortify. Task complete. Now we can use the crystal's signature to track its facets.
Normally, our technology is quite capable when it comes to crystals and the energies found within them. But for whatever reason, the energies found here don't seem to synchronize with our technology.
Conversation terminated.
Skepticism disengaged. It would seem the radiant remnants from Hellafall harmonize perfectly with the energies found here, giving us a proper signature to latch onto. The goblins' batteries are more than we need, but they appear to be doing the job effectively. We're almost ready for the field test.
Forge your own path.
Project complete. These radiant remnants from the Arathi seemed to have given our device the necessary focus it needed. All that remains is to attune it properly to the size of the facet. In order to attune to the signal, we'll need to set up some pylons around the site. There is work to be done up ahead. Let's see what we can find.
Conversation. I'll set some metal pylons to focus the signal. Meet me over the hill. And that part goes over there.
This singing crystal is remarkably like Belladar. We should treat it with reverence.
Signal augmented. One more reading should calibrate the device. That's it. Its energies are beyond my capacity to process. The crystal extends far beneath the surface.
Fascinating. The pylon's attunement indicate this crystal is far larger than this facet would suggest. According to the complexity of the signature, it appears to stretch for miles beneath our feet, and... Wait, what is this? A second signature appears to be originating from over the hill? How interesting.
Fortify your armor. Fortify your will.
Curiosity initiated. There appears to be a secondary source for the energy signature coming over the hill. An unexpected development. Judging from the estimated size of the crystal, I theorize it might be a secondary exposed facet. Further investigation is required. Meet me ahead.
May your work serve others. Intriguing. I'm detecting a secondary reading from the north. This requires more investigation. How can my hammer serve?
It would seem we are not alone on this island after all. Bargus glances down at the dead Vrykul next to him and shakes his head with a frown. To initiate violence before diplomatic engagement, an illogical provocation yields unfortunate consequences.
Fortify your armor.
I do not have a target.
Fortify your will.
Whoever these large outlanders are, they appear to be interested in the very location the crystal signature is originating from. I will assume this is not a convergence of coincidence. Engage your defense protocols. These outlanders are not hospitable like your people.
Convert the signals coming from that cave. It seems like we're not the only ones to take interest in it. We need to get in there. Fascinating. The energy is focused through that tablet.
Barkus looks around the crumbled ruins in the cave. The crystals on that tablet. If they are the source of this signature, then why does it appear to be stronger here than when we were next to the facet on the surface? There is something else here.
May your work serve others.
These ruins are quite old. Well, old by most Outlander standards. Is that what those Outlanders on the surface were looking for? Or were they searching for that tablet? The energy appears to be flowing through the tablet as a conduit rather than originating from it. Shall we take a closer look?
Forge your own path. Analyzing. This tablet's markings seem familiar.
As motes of light dance around the stone altar, a strange melodic hum emanates from both within the facet-dotted tablet and beneath your feet, calling you towards it. A faint hand mark surrounding the lowest crystal on the tablets has been worn into the stone. Above it, the words read, "The Song of Circe." Place your hand on the lower facet. An unseen force resonates throughout the structure, calling to you from deep within the ruins. Radiant presence.
Remarkable. The signal's energy surrounds this structure. How deep does this go?
Oh, forgotten protectors, and they're all... The Iron Vrykul. I don't think technically iron is the proper term for that, because those ones came later, but, the, like, original Vrykul Titan Forged being made of metal, I suppose.
Echoes of the past. This structure clearly has a history.
I wonder... This would indicate that this is like a Titan-connected thing, right? Carved from a single slab of stone, the ancient tablet is decorated with intricate imagery and runic letters. The depiction of an imposing metal-skinned figure is carved into the tablet. Upon her raised hand, a ring can be seen upon her gauntlet. The Saga of Circe, Caller of Storms, is carved by the hand of Jardfir. Noble was her mission, unhindered was her charge, terrifying was her wrath. So she's a metal-skinned figure, so she would be one of the Titan Forged, I'm assuming. Oh, this is not where I expected this to go. Carved from a single slab of stone and embedded with glittering crystalline fragments, the ancient tablet is decorated with intricate imagery and runic letters. A mosaic depicts a gathering of humanoid figures standing around an exposed cavern. In the center of the cavern, jutting from the floor, sits a massive crystalline facet. Himisol, the luminous heart. From the darkness of the earth she called. From the warring north we heard. With hand of iron and soul of fire we pledged. Okay, I'm gonna make a wild guess and say that From the Warring North might be referring to the Winter Scorn Wars, or would it be earlier? Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna jump in here because I didn't really explain what was going on with the Winter Scorn War. So there's a lot of stuff in Titan Keeper politics to really understand exactly what was going on, but just to give you the lowdown. About 20,000 years ago, there were a couple fire giants that decided they wanted to assert dominion over Northrend, and they recruited the Vrykul, who had not yet succumbed to the Curse of Flesh, so they were still metallic, into their ranks to fight this war. And so the Vrykul and the fire giants fought this large-scale war against the Earthen that sort of turned into a much bigger conflict that involved the other Titan Keepers, the dragon aspects, so on and so forward. This is actually how the Vrykul got put to sleep, is that a couple of the dragon aspects put them into slumber, and while they were slumbering, they became afflicted by the Curse of Flesh and turned fleshy. It's my belief that this line about the Warring North is referring to the Winter Scorn War, since it did take place in Northrend and involved the Vrykul, and that this group of Vrykul, this group of Titan Forged, went south to avoid the war and ended up at Siren Isle, or at least what would become Siren Isle, since this would predate the Sundering, and therefore this likely wouldn't have been an island, depending on its location. As a quick side note, I want to point out how interesting it is that some of the protectors here seem to have some of these citrines or siren crystal shards in their helmets. These guys attack you as memories, which makes me think that this is actually really similar to what's going on with the World Soul memories appearing. And we've learned that these large crystals, like Belladar and the Siren Crystal, are basically solidified World Soul essence. So I wonder if part of the reason that these Vrykul are appearing as memories is because they are powered by or drawing from Azeroth, given that they're imbued with these crystals.
The signal is getting stronger. It's coming from that chamber.
The depiction of a bearded metallic figure holding a stone tablet and a chisel has been etched into this monolith. As carved by Valwyn, Ward of the Stone Carver, Jardfir, first stone carver of Circe. By his hand her circlet was carved, by his tools the vault was shaped, by his gift the guardians were forged. By his gift the guardians were forged. So not like first generation? Or at least that some of these would be Titan Forged and some of them would be the products of a Titan Forged? This hewn monolith depicts a fearsome battle between the metallic figures and serpentine creatures emerging from the waves. Although the metallic figures are outnumbered, allies in the form of winged humanoids and stone golems fight at their side. The Valkyr? The final storm. The tremor seized and waves churned new. From depths the darkness crawled. By Circe's hand the heart yet stood, her song a spark within. After going over it again, I think this tablet is actually referring to the Sundering. The words "the final storm" and "the tremor seized and waves churned new" makes me think of the Sundering, but more than that, if the serpentine creatures here were referring to the Naga, it would make sense because the Naga were created in the War of the Ancients during the Sundering 10,000 years ago. But if the Titan Forged first came here 20,000 years ago during the Winterscorn War, that means they were here for at least 10,000 years. Which, given the fact that they're Titan Forged, isn't that weird. They would effectively be able to live forever, right? So it makes me very curious, what happened to them? Where did they go? Did they ever get afflicted by the curse of flesh?
Echoes of the past. This structure clearly has a history.
The portrait of a stoic, metal-skinned figure is carved into the tablet. Upon her shoulder sits a majestic winged creature, the crystal shards sparkling as the creature's eye. Thrayer, the eyes of Circe. Born amongst peaks of storm, bound by spirit and kinship, anguished by waves of darkness. Mosaics of small, intricate runestones can be seen carved upon the surface. The citrines of Himisol, fragments of the luminous heart, pieces of her joy, of her sorrow. By iron hands and gentle grasp the singing shards were shaped, each facet, each rune a sacred gift. Skeletal remains? Oh no. By the forge! This is... Barga stares wide-eyed in wonder at the gleaming crystal, struggling to find words. After a moment, he nods. This is most certainly the source of the second signature, though the energies appear to have fused with the original. It's almost like it wanted us to find this place.
Conversation terminated.
This vault, this crystal. Who dwelled here? And who is this Circe we keep seeing mentioned on the tablets? When we set off to learn about the crystal, I did not anticipate discovering the remnants of an ancient civilization far beneath the earth. Bargas ruffles his wiry mustache before glancing at you. This bears closer examination, don't you think?
This bears closer examination. After you. See what you can find.
The skeletal remains sit slumped against the rocks. Its ribcage and legs are shattered as if crushed by something heavy. In their outstretched hand sits a gleaming rune-carved ring.
Well done! An exemplary display.
It's giving Kultirin. The vault trembles ominously as energy from the crystal surges into the nearby rubble.
By the Titans, an ancient construct. This is more of an adventure than even I desired. We should get this artifact back to the workshop for examination.
Cracked citrine. Runes are carved upon the facet's surface.
My programming is expanded to exploration and conversation.
As much as my curiosity protocol has been activated, the defenses in this structure are relentless. We would be wise to regroup at the camp and reassess what we found. We will return to study more of this crystal at another time.
Forge your own path. you here to help the awakened?
It would seem we've made quite the discovery.
Fortify your armor. Fortify your will.
More queries and very little answers. Fortunately, the device was able to gather some data from the energy readings. It will take some time to process, but we will soon have a better understanding of this Siren crystal. In the meantime, let's take a closer look at that ring and shard you found. And Gorla here will be able to help.
Forge your own path.
Circe's Circlet. Sea dogs and tail spinners tell stories of a mythical siren that could lure even the stubbornest sailors to a watery grave.
Conversation initiated.
So, okay, with what we know about Circe being one of the Titan Forged, essentially, one of the Vrykul, I'm curious how this sort of got conflated, like, if the tales of the siren were because of the crystal, like the crystal calling to people, right? And that's why this became named Siren Isle. And maybe in, like, Kulturan mythos that they ended up thinking of Circe as a siren? Maybe. That's sort of a stretch from the pieces that I'm putting together here, but I'm intrigued. I'm so intrigued.
Something new to trade.
The cracked citrine you found seems to be a perfect fit for one of the sockets found in the ring, yet, as Angorla sockets the shard into the ring, the citrine wiggles loose and pops out. The ring appears to be rejecting the piece. If we can repair the citrine and stabilize the energy within the shard, perhaps the ring will accept it. Sorry, excuse me. Since you've been so helpful with Bargus, clear to lend another hand?
The crystal you found is cracked. Let's restore it in the forge.
Angorla examines the cracked shard closely. It would appear as if there's some sort of energy signature within the inner matrix of this shard. Fascinating. Care to assist me in examining its inner workings? Or would you prefer to document and take notes while we work?
Find me something memorable.
While Bargus sees to repairing the outer chassis, let us take a closer look at the destabilized matrices in this fractured crystal, shall we? Stabilization complete. The crystal's inner matrices are starting to hum with power.
I can hear it singing. It's ready for the artifact.
Treasures from far and wide.
Angorla holds the glowing citrine in her hand before holding it out to you. That seemed to do the trick. I've never felt such energy radiate from such a small crystal before. The runes engraved on it are quite ancient and very powerful.
Show me what you found.
Angorla peers at you from over her spectacles with excitement. Can you hear it? The small, humble citrine is calling out to the circlet, just as the siren crystal called out to you and to all of us. I am uncertain what will happen when you reunify them, but there's only one way to find out.
The crystal is calling to the ring. Treasures from far and wide.
I can feel it from here, radiating, thrumming with a long dormant power. Who carved these small little citrines? Why do they appear to fit perfectly into the circlet, yet they were found separated? Oh, how I wish I had seen what you and Bargus had found within the vault. Angorla takes her hand in hers and examines the crystal-embedded circlet closely. Can you feel the energy humming through it? The circlet feels awake. Perhaps more secrets lie around the isle waiting for you to uncover them. Dawn encouraged us to explore and learn about this isle, but I've got my work cut out for me here. Why don't you see what you can find? The rough-hewn facets appear to have been carved by ancient, delicate tools. Faint runic markings can be seen along the edge of the facet, as if once belonging to a larger piece. A faint melodic ringing seems to chime off the very edge of the facets.
Show me what you found.
What have you found? Another treasure, perhaps?
Transaction complete.
Curious. Even as fragments, the pieces hum with energy. I wonder if I... Angorla presses the fragments together like a puzzle, squeezing them in their palm. After a moment, she opens her palm and reveals a neatly fused shard. It may be less intricate and ornate as the citrine you found in the vault, but there's power here, even in a piece like this. Whoa, and that's it! So I think I might actually end this here and then tackle some of the other stuff or future sort of quest lines, potentially, in another video. It definitely raises far more questions than answers, but I feel like we actually got a really good, clear look at the history behind this island in terms of the timeline of the Titan Forged and their presence here, and the crystal and how everyone was called to the crystal. That's why they came to this island. But definitely very curious that we don't really know what happened to the Titan Forged, to the Cersei figure, or even to the Colturans, who have not really been mentioned. I'm also very curious to get into the Naga plot, because one of the tablets did say that they had also fought the Naga, which, I mean, to be real, the Naga have been, like, everywhere and anywhere for the last 10,000 years in the history of Azeroth. Like, Ajar has always been looking to claim power sources, so it's not the weirdest thing to see them here on an island, but I am very curious if we'll get a little bit more specifics about that plot. So I'm probably gonna go around and start looking for some of these secrets and stuff, but for now I will keep it there to the introductory storyline, and I hope to see you in the next one. No! I forgot I can't fly here. I don't know how to get to this and I'm sad about it. I wonder if we've seen the Dark Tide before. Oh my god, Mechanomes! Is this a bad idea? Oh! Why does this happen to me? I messed up. I can't read it again. I messed up. Bring it back. Bring it back. Can I hold on? Oh, it just puts you back to the start. There are Valkyr. Okay. They're calling it, wait, the Siren Crystal? Oh, okay.